All right, so the left side is the live video. The right side is the actual stock. You go for it.
Oh, man. Where do I start? Morning panic dip buy. Not for the weak-hearted.
Yeah.
But really, this is a phenomenal strategy, like Mike said, that you can grow very quickly. Definitely want to use a day trade. This is intended for a day trade. The goal is you're hunting for these OTC stocks that are ideally overextended. They've gone up 3 or 4 days in a row, 500% probably in a 3-day stretch. And, all of a sudden things change. The stock might have been up in the morning, first opening minutes, but 10 minutes later, you can look back at the charts and it could be down the same amount that it was up.
Yeah.
So
be aware. Don't go to sleep.
That's a really irrational move in a stock in general. And, you see big stocks, big companies move like this. Charts literally look like this, but it's on a very small scale. It's literally like 1% or 2%. But somehow these stocks are trading so much money and are so volatile that they're creating these inefficiencies in the short term. And just look at that. Red candle after red candle after red candle.
Yeah, let's zoom in.
You don't see, like, when you're just watching
zoom in
stock,
even closer.
When you're just watching a stock, if you've never watched a stock before, if you've never seen a stock,
watch out below.
This is not normal. So, and it's usually just not normal for a little bit of the time. And then all of a sudden it becomes normal.
This is from 15 cents.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And on top of it, this was the second day in a row it did that. So for it to have already been down one day and then be doing this again the next morning, that's a really, really, really good spot where, you can capitalize on a nice bounce after you see a massive sell-off like this. So one thing I want to say before we get into it, I just want to say, one of the important things is you want to identify support levels. On the long-term chart, you want to look at levels that it couldn't get above and it broke, right? Breakout level. That level starts to become support. And you could see here, really, the breakout really was a little higher, around like 11 or 12 cents. But when it started to make, when it started to really cup up here, it was 10 cents. 10 cents was really the spot where, that resistance right there from the beginning of the month, that resistance would be support. And, it's so unbelievable that a stock could get to 17 cents and the next day be down at 10 cents. Like that's such a big pullback. Like, you don't see any big company doing something like that.
Look, this is from the November 20th, not too long ago. Why you have to love the OTC stock?
Unbelievable. Back-to-back days when it has this massive panic in the morning, specifically in the opening minutes. We're going to take advantage. We had 10 cents as the spot, and that's very key. That is the spot. So the question is, like I always say, where are you risking? How much are you risking, right? We're risking at 10 cents. So how far above 10 cents could we really go where we're just risking enough for this play to be feasible? And, for us to tolerate buying in on this massive, rapid falling knife, literally falling knife. So it takes time to really get the feel for this one. But I'm telling you, if you start with identifying that support and finding that level where you're going to risk off of, it starts to be easier to let it come to you. Let this fall down to you. It's going to be a falling knife, but this has to really come down to that support level for it to really be worth it. And I mean, look at this. It's unbelievable. And thankfully we were very patient for this. This had some signs of bouncing
in this wick.
But we were patient for the bottom to get all the way down closer to 10.
Sniper El Chamo got the bottom.
Yeah, shout out to you, Johnny, man. Good job, bro. Dude, that's hard work, man. Johnny, you've been working for that. Don't worry about selling too early. I know you said you sold too early. Don't worry about it.
That's very impressive that you got that. You're
going to get better, man. You're going to get better every time. And just it works, man. You're there. You got it.
Very impressive. Very impressive you got that spot, though. Best spot on the day.
For sure.
Literally, you bought the low of the day.
Yeah. And honestly, it looked like it was bottoming around 11, 11 and a half there. You know, after so many red candles in a row, it kind of was trying to bounce off of 11, but it just was sitting there for like, I don't think it was like 10 minutes or like 12 minutes, right around 11 cents. And that's not a really clear bounce to me at that point. You know, you want to see buyers come in, you don't want to see it continue to flash down and try to break new lows. And that's what it was doing around 11 cents. So, you know, we were just patient. And 11 cents, if we bought at 11 cents, that's 10% from our risk at 10 cents. So, or a little bit more. So that's, you know, just a little bit too much for us. So if it bounces at 11 and a half. It is what it is. But if it does happen to come down at this point, now that everything has happened, it had that massive, everything we just have talked about already happened. And now it's coming down. We've been blessed for another dip to come down to the support level. At
this point, we have our limit just in.
It makes it worth it. And we had the order ready. And shout out Johnny again. You're the man for catching.
You got the bottom. We got the tick above you though.
We got it on that
candle, on this wick though. We were able to get it on this wick candle. It's pretty impressive when you look at this.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
And this is the last tick before the bottom.
Yeah, and
literally, look at that.
Immediately, and it's pretty nuts, man. It's crazy how it happens. Just blessed to be able to, you know, figure out this pattern and the strategy. And
actually crazy.
You know,
when you look back at it, it's actually nuts. But yeah, so we grab that, and what you do with these panic dips, you want to bounce quick. With these, we're not really. I know you see this whole thing that it really bounced, but we were looking for this bounce quick. And now, if you go back to the live video, I gotta rewind like 10 seconds just to show you. Here's the bounce. So here we go. So you want to go
look at that? I mean, it bounced right away, and I mean, we were very quick to take this bag, but
actually,
like,
more.
Yeah, we could have definitely took our 15% what we were looking for, but we had the limit there set at 11.4. It was, I think, close to 11% from catching the bottom. We could have waited to closer to 12, absolutely, and 12 was the goal. You know, 20% would have been perfect, but you know, it was all there. Either way, it was all there. This happened very quickly, so it was just like, it is what it is. If it kind of marinated around 11 a little bit longer, maybe it would have moved up in order. But it just all happened, you know, pretty quick. We had the limit just already there. I honestly thought that was 15% when I was putting it in. But, you know, it is what it is. It was 430 or something like that in 4.5 minutes. So
it's crazy. And the thing,
crazy,
and it's when the stock literally just panicked from 15 to 10 in 2 hours. So to make that rebound, it happens very quick, and you have to use your day trade usually on these plays. So if you don't have a day trade, do not make this play. But if you do, go for it all day. We took the 4-minute bag. It continued all the way up for another 5 or 6 more minutes, and then it kind of just settled for a while. And usually with dip buys, like we said, a lot of the times the settle game is not fun because they could come down so easily. And when they do come back down, as you can see, they come back down quick. So don't hang out there anymore.
Yeah, best case was 15% here, and that's what we were looking for. So,
boom.
I mean, it is what it is. We got 11, but
and there's the sell. It's about to happen right now. We have it. It's us on the bid right now. Oh, didn't take us yet.
Yeah, look at that. It's just trickling up there just very nicely. Look, 1.4 getting
boom,
even, and there we are, 1.50.
And that is the sell. And if you've noticed, both of those were executed with a limit in at the bottom, not chasing, not just pressing a buy, and a limit at the top, just letting it come to it and selling it. Boom. That was key.
That was nasty trade. This pattern repeats every day.
Over and over.
Probably gonna happen tomorrow.
Probably will happen tomorrow. There's so many stocks that went crazy. Be on the lookout tomorrow for a lot of things.